Okay, welcome everyone. We are recording, I hope.
Okay. Yep, I see
Yes,
it.
good. So can everyone see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
good. So I will start us off first. Tonight it's myself, Vicki Sarnoff, Catherine Sorrentino, and Lily Mancy. So we're happy to be here with you. Catherine or Lily, do you want to say anything or should we just begin the program?
Um, no, I'm good. I just think I'm excited. I can't wait to get into this. It's a lot more exciting than I kind of anticipated, to be honest with you.
Good, okay. So we'll start first with a safety disclaimer. The FDA has not evaluated the statements presented. I have to fix this. No claims are made as to any medicinal value of these formulas, products, or oils. Product information and description presented here are for educational purposes of the traditional uses of essential oils only and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This information should not be used as a substitute for medical counseling with a healthcare professional. So I thought I would start a little bit. The full moon is coming and on Monday, August the 3rd at 11:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have a few days to get ready for it. And we just wanted to share with you some interesting information. And starting off a little bit with full moon folklore. So we've all heard tales of werewolves and the full moon, humans turning into hairy wolf-like monsters under the light of the full moon and leaving a trail of devastation in their path. It's the stuff of fairy tales, right? Well, maybe not if you work in a hospital. So according to the healthcare community, full moons bring some rather unusual events to hospitals, with many nurses and midwives claiming that the number of hospital admissions and births increased dramatically during a full moon shift. And I can only say that I worked in hospitals for a large portion of my life, and it is true. Not only the increase in births, but the unusual things that happened. We used to say the crazies would come out, and it was just, you could just say, okay, it's a full moon. So it is a true thing from my experience. Clothes washed for the first time in the full moon will not last long. Don't know, okay. Babies born a day after the full moon enjoy success and endurance. In some Chinese religions, offerings are made to the ancestors on the night of the full moon. Some people believe that the 5th day after a full moon is the perfect time to try to conceive a child. The night of the full moon is believed to be a good time for divination and scrying. Now, I had to look up scrying. So it's a form of divination that involves staring into a reflective surface. And the full moon has long been considered a symbol of wisdom and intuition. And we feel its connection every month when it lights the night sky. Many of us feel more energetic and alert during this phase of the moon. So this is a picture of a sturgeon, and it's quite a dramatic looking fish, I think. And thought we'd give you just a little bit of history of the sturgeon and why it was chosen to represent August. So the full moon in August is called the sturgeon moon because of the great number of this huge freshwater fish that used to be found in lakes and the rivers in North America. During this time, other names for this full moon include the grain moon, the green corn moon, fruit moon, and barley moon. And all of them are inspired by various crops that can be harvested in August. Now, the lake sturgeon has a greenish gray color and a pointed snout with 2 pairs of whiskers. You can see them hanging down, like tactile organs dangling near their mouths. And the word sturgeon means stirrer, which is what this giant fish does. So when it's looking for food, it stirs up the mud and the silt on the river and the lake bottoms, and that's how it gets its food. It's been called a living fossil as it belongs to a family of fish that has existed for more than 135 million years. Lake sturgeons are extremely long-lived. The males can reach 55 years, while the females can live up to 150 years. They can grow to be really big and enormous. They're the American continent's largest fish and can grow to over 6 feet and weigh over 200 pounds. Lake sturgeons do not only live in lakes, they also live in rivers, but not in oceans. And this monster fish used to be a major part of the ecosystem in the Great Lakes, the Hudson Bay, and the Mississippi River. And they were once found all the way from Canada down to Alabama. Today, the lake sturgeon has become one of the rarest fish in North America because of intense overfishing in the 19th century, the pollution and damage to their habitat, and the breeding grounds due to agriculture and lumbering, which impacts them. So the sturgeon are harvested for their meat and roe, their fish eggs, which is then processed into caviar, which we know is a very expensive product for which there is a high demand. Sturgeon roe now represents more than 90% of the commercial caviar market, and most of that comes from other parts of the world. Sturgeon are also found in Russia and Eastern Europe. So I don't know the majority, I don't think any very much comes from the US area. So that brings me to the oil blend I'm going to tell you a little bit about tonight. So we thought of doing longevity because of the sturgeon and it being sort of a fossil and the way it can live for so many years. So this oil contains some of the highest antioxidant and DNA protecting essential oils. So the thyme, orange, clove, and the frankincense. And this oil is only taken as a dietary supplement. You generally don't diffuse it or place it on your skin, but ingest it. So this is how you would use it. So dilute 3 drops to 12 drops of a carrier oil. So you make a 1-to-4 dilution, and you can place it into a clear capsule and just swallow it like any other capsule you would take. You could take 2 to 3 drops of the oil, add that to a teaspoon of maple syrup, mix it and then swallow it, just swallow that down. And you could mix 2 to 3 drops into 4 ounces of milk or a plant-based milk or Ninja Red as another possibility. So that's my little story about the sturgeon and the oil I chose to talk about. Anyone have any questions before we move on? Okay. So Catherine, take it away.
Actually, I had a question.
Sure.
Is there no situation where you would just apply it? Because I've had longevity for a long time and I never knew you could take it internally. I just always put it on some aspect, like my feet or whatever.
Do you like the smell of it?
I'm trying to remember the smell. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's very strong. So I feel the predominance of the thyme is what I smell.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere that I looked and did research on, the only thing they ever mentioned is internally. And they do have the longevity capsules that Young Living sells as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't see why. I don't think it could harm you in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I think if you had sensitive skin, I'd probably do it with a carrier oil, maybe.
Well, it says to always dilute it with a carrier oil. So do a 1-to-4 dilution. So if I were to do that,
I didn't know if Kathy used it with a carrier oil on her body.
I would put it on my feet probably.
Oh. Also,
Mary, where did you put it?
Probably on my feet.
Yeah, that would be safe. It's the clove that would be really stinging.
Yes. But if you dilute it, possibly, I'm sure it would be okay. I just would always avoid sensitive areas of skin.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Mary, maybe that's why you're now going to live to be
100. Yeah.
Well, and actually, I'm thinking this is a really good time for that oil too, because of the oils that it has in it.
Right, it's really good for your immune system. So it's another, I did read one thing which I never thought of before. So I use thieves as my go-to for my immunity and take it both internally and apply it. But you can alternate between longevity and thieves.
Hmm.
It's not an uncommon thing for people to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right. So as I was looking around about full moons and what they mean, and I came across this prayer, which I just thought was it hit home for me. It just, so every full moon I'm going to say this. And it's just, I give away any self-doubt, my limiting beliefs, my fear of failure, my critical voice, my pain of the past, my struggles, that which no longer serves me. As I grow older with wisdom, I thought I was eliminating some of these, but found that they're not all gone yet. So I'm going to make this as part of a ritual for me when the full moon comes about, to just add this to my repertoire.
By whom is it?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just found it like that.
Lovely. Mhm. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I wish I could give, credit to where it's due. And I don't know if it was meant to be purposely be left undone just to share. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at and do some research on that and see if I can find out. If I can, I will let you know. How's that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So as the full moon is really a time for harvest, a time to reap all that you've sown in the last month or so, and to finally release and let go of things that no longer serve you. One of those oils, or the cleansing oil, is lemongrass. It releases resentment, regret from the should have statements, and permission by transforming these negative energies into positive energies. It allows the left brain to see options. So once the negative energies are released, optimism, courage, and hope prevail. I think we'd all use that.
Wow, yeah.
Lemongrass also protects against auric fields from electromagnetic energy, like TVs, computers, radios, cell phones. So I find that very helpful for me. And as the oil of cleansing, it is known for being a very powerful energetic cleanser that encourages us to courageously let go of things that we no longer need. And the word courageously is because sometimes it is difficult to let go. That's probably one of the hardest things for me to do, is let go of things, even if they don't serve me and I know better. The perfect pairing for the energy of the full moon, I believe. And it invites us to easily let go or help let go of limiting beliefs, toxic energies, and general negativity that might be causing us to hesitate in moving towards our truest desires. Although I found longevity, so maybe I'll live long enough to accomplish all that. But anyway, so lemongrass is uplifting and a joyous citrus oil, which makes it ideal for helping us tune into whatever energies no longer match our high vibration. It helps to clear the negative energy from the third chakra, or our spiritual eye. As you let go of stagnant energy, you can begin to see situations with greater clarity, and energy starts to flow more freely. And these are some of the uses for lemongrass. If you want to go to the next slide.
Sure.
You could just add a few drops to your diffuser or drop in the palm of your hands and rub together and just inhale. You can dilute it with a carrier oil like coconut oil to your third eye and the bottom of your feet. Or if there's a part of your body where you feel your energy is stuck, just add a drop there as well. Rub in with some good energy and good thoughts. Lemongrass can also clear energy around the house. So, and I've done this a few times with several sage, lemongrass. I just add it to the water and spritz the room. So that's one of them.
Catherine, do you ever diffuse lemongrass?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No, I have not. Mm-mm. I've done the water and spritzing the room. I've not done the third eye, which I thought was interesting, which I think I'd like to try this go round.
Mhm.
To try to clear out, the mind and let some good things in. Time for good things, in spite of what we're going through. Because there is good things out there for that.
I like to use purification. It's a blend. And
I use that in my
lemongrass-
dryer.
Hmm?
I use that in my dryer for my
Yeah,
dryer ball.
lemongrass is like the first oil in it. It's predominantly lemongrass.
Okay, well, all right. That's probably
Yeah.
why then. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use frankincense, which is the oil of truth. It's considered food for the gods. Frankincense is used for purification, meditation, protection, and spiritual understanding. It invites us to let go of lower vibrations and allow room for more positive energy. So I feel it's kind of in congruence with the lemongrass. It helps create new perspective based on light and truth. Frankincense has an important yet delicate ability to assist in pulling the barriers from the mind and the walls from the heart. Frankincense is also known for enhancing practices of prayer and meditation, a great addition to the full moon ritual. Frankincense opens the spiritual channels and allows you to connect with yourself, with source. And some of the uses for frankincense are to inhale from the bottle or add a few drops to a diffuser. And I have done both of that. 1 to 3 diluted drops to the crown of your head or forehead or behind the ears. I have done it on the crown of my head. And like lemongrass, you can add a few drops to the spray mist around the house. That I have not done with frankincense, but another option. So just a few to try if you haven't yet. A few thoughts. And anybody have any questions or comments or tried it or have any stories or any shares they want to give? No? Okay.
Interesting to me, Catherine, about lemongrass is I always have held it as a very physical oil. Like I use it a lot with folks like for joint pain or
Oh, really?
pain. Yeah, it's like ligament, lemongrass for ligaments is the
Oh,
thing. Yeah. So it was interesting to me to look at it from this perspective, as a cleansing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it just really points to, how versatile the oils actually are, that to think of them in terms of just one way of using them is really,
Right.
not to recognize and honor their beauty and their ability because they're so flexible and there's so many different things, and so
Well, that's, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And actually, you brought that out to me several times. If I've been using an oil for a particular purpose, you've suggested I switch to another one to bring out other aspects of whatever, whether it be joint pain in my case or whatever.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so this was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Catherine, one other thing. It was I was at my daughter's the other day, and I usually make them my bug spray, and has lemongrass is in there. And she had purchased for herself because they need a new bottle of bug spray for me. But they sell these like anklets, like a coiled anklet thing you put around
Seen
your
that.
foot
Yeah.
and you wear it out because she's attacked by mosquitoes. So I read the ingredients, and it was geranium and lemongrass.
Really?
Wow.
The store-bought one?
Yes, that's what was in the coil. And geranium, I know, is really great for keeping mosquitoes away and
Okay.
ticks. So it's an interesting combination.
Yeah. interesting, but again, I don't know about the quality, so
Oh, I
I'm
have
gonna
no
stick.
idea, but,
I'm
yeah,
gonna stick to making my own.
that's it. I'm the same.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Interesting to hear about the geranium for insects too, Vic.
I know, it's such a sweet oil. You would think it wouldn't repel. Is that what you have there?
It's so great for any kind of like to restore emotional balance, especially for women. So
Mm.
I had, I'm just newly, how you use an oil for a while and then you don't. And so now I'm into geranium and it's just so lovely. And I'm really able to feel how it's balancing some things for me, But it's interesting. I wouldn't think of it in an insecticide.
Mhm.
You never know. The 100 uses of geranium, right?
Well, maybe could it be in relation with another oil?
Well, sure, yeah.
Don't know.
That's why I say the science they put into this is just mind-boggling.
Well, and it is a science. That's the thing that we have to remember about essential oils is it's science. They're broken down into.
And that's why the pharmaceuticals don't want to know anything about it.
Well, they want to know enough about it to be able to imitate it, to make their version of it,
Well,
so they
that's
can make some money on it. That's what they want to know.
true enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Which
true.
you're seeing now with the big thing of aromatherapy.
That's true. And like at the air fresheners, the air fresheners all with the.
Yeah. Anyway, we know the purity of oils and we know how to recognize one that is pure. And once you have that experience, you become very aware of, something that's diluted or is not the real thing. But anyway, getting back to the topic of the evening with the full moon, just a really beautiful time because it has like a rhythm to it, and a progression and like how you choose to use it, if you choose to use it like that. But it's a time like to connect with the earth's rhythm and also just to look inside and like honor our own intuition and knowing what is it that I need to do? What do I want to do here with this beautiful energy that the universe has provided for me? Releasing, what do I want to be rid of? What I want to lovingly, thank you, universe, I'm complete with that release. And of course, with that releasing, creating a space for something new to come in. So what am I creating as a result of being able to release it? And then claim it, just, okay, it's mine, I think that that's really important that we put our name to it and, that we welcome it, that we choose to embrace it and we confirm and determine, that this energy is ours now. We have the right to step in and out and create. And I think that the full moon time is such a beautiful time to do that because we have, as I said, all the energies of the universe behind us. So, should we go on to the next thing? So on that point, of course, it seems the most logical, like longevity, for the sturgeon is releasing our releasing, and so, I was struggling with this, like, is this just because it's called release, and then I start looking into the oils and yes, of course, because a lot of this, is stored anger and resentment and whatever, emotional upheaval we have typically stored in the liver, being on the right side of your body, being very large, as 3 lobes. So it's any place you touch on the right side of your body or back, that's all liver in there. And so blue tansy is a very healing oil for the liver. Ylang ylang, very balancing energies, male, female energies. And of course, we talked about the geranium being a really highly emotional oil. And sandalwood biblical. But the other thing I realized about this was, you know, Gary Young did not just, you know, use these words in a haphazard way. You know, he had a way of combining his knowledge, his sensitivity, you know, he was a very prayerful man. I remember him telling stories about how, you know, he would get a blend to a certain point, and he would know that it wasn't quite right, and then he'd have to like go up into the mountains on his horse and just be up there, you know, with his creator person and have his exchange. And that was a lot of how he got his energy, how he got his formulas for his blends. And so I thought about this, and I thought, you know, Gary would not create a blend called Release without using his clear knowledge, which he certainly had, and his intuition, which he certainly had, of each one of these oils. So in that respect, you know, I'm really honoring Release tonight. But the interesting thing was that I couldn't find Release, but what I kept finding was acceptance. And I thought, well, okay, I guess it's like acceptance, you know, that's up for me right now. Anyway, but Vicki, do you want to say something about how Release smells, the scent of it, because you do have it there?
So oh wait, I hit that by mistake. Whoops. Go back to Release.
Yeah.
I do have Release here, and it's beautiful smelling. Yes, it's one that I love to use, and I think I'm smelling the geranium and a lot of the blue tansy. So it has a sweet but not overly cloying sweetness, just a very delicate sweetness. So nice.
A gentle release.
A gentle release, yes. Not a forced one, yes.
Right. Okay.
I just thought about how Gary was really so much into it, and how music comes from the heavens. So also the smells and the scents of flowers, and he was saved, you know, from total illness, and he got this. And he was the first one to brought it out into the world. It's amazing that we were allowed to meet him and be there and you know, really get it, you know. It's great.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, his passion was contagious for sure.
Yeah.
So another oil that, you know, may be helpful during this time is the essential oil of myrrh. And also I just want to say that these are just oils that we're saying that we're offering that came to us because we felt like we didn't want to talk about an oil that we didn't have some kind of feel with or connection with, you know. But actually, you know, part of what you're doing during this full moon time is tuning into your own inner wisdom and your innate knowing. So, you know, you can, whatever is appropriate, you know, just be open to that and choose from that point, you know. But these are the oils we chose to speak about tonight. Now, myrrh, I once had a teacher who referred to myrrh as the tough little tree. She used to always used to call it the tough little tree because it is small and it is tough. And by tough, I mean it's been around for a long, long time. Of course, we're all familiar with myrrh from a biblical point of view, and it's mentioned in one of the oldest of the medical records known as the Eber Papyrus from ancient Egypt, which is a list of like 870 some essential oils that were used during that time, Egyptian time and forward. And of course, myrrh, you know, it's a very spiritual oil. Definitely affects parts of the brain that have to do with memory. And, you know, it goes a long way, myrrh, you know, I mean, its uses are so diverse. But I guess the reason why I was drawn to talk about myrrh in this particular context is that because there's a deepness and a richness to it. And like you don't use myrrh just kind of like, it's not my experience, in a kind of offhanded way, you know, just like, oh, I'm going to put this on because this is going to make me feel such and such, like I might with lavender or something like that. I don't know, when I come into the presence of myrrh, I feel like I just stop, you know. I pick the bottle up and it's like, this is myrrh, you know, this is like myrrh. It's like frankincense. I mean, both of those have that kind of feeling to me. It's like, I honor this plant, you know, and this being has been here like way long time, you know, and the capacity that it has to transform, you know, my mood, my thoughts, my outlook on life, you know, my well-being, you know, just, you know, myrrh goes a really long way. And speaking of that, also even in its texture, because it's very resonance. It's called resonance because it the sap of the myrrh tree, like frankincense, the tears of the frankincense that form on the bark, they're taken off, and that's where the oil comes from. And it's the same with myrrh, so it has that quality. It's sticky. If you don't use it for a long time, you have to put it in really hot water to open it up because it will seal and you will not be able to open the bottle. So, I mean, it goes a long way. It's a tough little tree, but it's a beautiful oil, myrrh. And then let's see, of course, the first thing I always want to do is to drop in my hand and smell it and put it on my body, my physical body, and my bodies outside of my physical body. You know, my auric fields, definitely just clearing off the auric fields, really important. And with the moon, you know, just like to create a connection with the moon, to do things that are like, they don't have to mean something, you know, because this is a time when you're connecting with such a great energy, you know. It's like write something like the prayer that you found, Catherine, you know, like one could write a prayer like that, you know, or whatever it is that you feel you want to create that's going to bring you into a deeper connection with this energy, you know, doodling, drawing, moving, even just stretching, but, you know, without it having to mean something or be something, you know, not like in a conscious way, but just kind of let the energy flowing through you. Affirmation, speaking, declaring to the moon what it is, you know, that you are ready to release or say to the moon or say to the universe or claim. I like to do this while I'm standing on the earth. If I can, I like to have the earth under my feet. But I think declaring and speaking it forth, and I think the word's really powerful. The sound of your voice and the connection, you know. So there's that, and then there's other things that you can do too. Like, of course, there's the baths. You know, you can put some of oil of your choice, or, you know, release, or myrrh or longevity or lemongrass or whatever you're choosing to add, some Epsom salts, and mix that around and use that in the bath, or sea salt. Just sprinkle it in and mix it in the water, which allows your oils to go a much longer way than just dropping some drops of oil on top of the water, because they could evaporate really quickly. But when you put in an Epsom salts or sea salts, you have another agent, you know. But then moonbathing is something I love to do, and this just came to me one night when I was actually in my bed, and I woke up and there was this light on me, and it was the moon coming in through my window. And I just thought, wow, this is so cool. I could have never thought to do this. It just is something that happened. And I found when I went into meditation while I was moon bathing, that the thing that was in my mind was how, this light of the moon is like everywhere now on the earth. This moon's light is bathing the earth. And it just was coming to me like all the different places that the moon light was. And I was very drawn to the canyons, because I am drawn to the canyons. And I was feeling like how it was in the Grand Canyon. And, it was just so exciting. I love moon bathing. And I'm always, I don't, sometimes I miss it, but I'm always so happy when that happens. And it's also just to notice while that's happening, the difference between sunbathing and moon bathing, because there's a big difference. Yeah. And then the moon money story, well, I had a friend, sweet friend, his name is Robert. He's no longer with us, but his incantation to the moon every full moon, he would like to howl, and he'd go out and he'd howl and he'd go, moon money. And that was just his, thing that he was about creating. And so it stayed with me. And of course, every time there's a full moon and I'm out, I have to give a howl and a moon money in Robert's, honor. So those are some of the things. So I hope that, this is been of some kind of use and help to you and for you. And so we get to, the cool thing is that it's coming up, the full moon. So we get to have a few days to think about this and put some stuff together, maybe write some things down about what it is we're about creating, and looking into our oils and seeing how, our oils can overlap with this, because when you're connecting two really powerful energies like this, they intensify each other. So it's a really special time.
Well said.
Any questions for Lily? Except I know how wonderful, because I used to live a couple doors up from Lily, and my bedroom would also get the moonlight. So
Right.
I know that location, yes. Okay, so we're going to move
Do
on.
we
So-
moon bathe? Sorry, Vicki.
No,
Do we moon bathe with our clothes on?
No, I'm telling you, I want to tear all my clothes off as soon as I'm in that moonlight. I'm like, yeah. I mean, whatever strikes you, but that's usually the feeling that I have.
surround yourself and howl at the moon naked.
I haven't gone running wild in the streets yet, though.
I was going to say, I don't know if the neighbors would like it. We'd have to collect bail money.
There's such deep mystery in it, though. It's so different from bathing in the sun.
So this has nothing to do with anything really, except my grandson was here the other day. He's 3 years old. And I know we said something about the moon, and he looks at me and he said, "Did you know that it's made out of cheese?"
Oh.
Oh,
That's precious.
So I didn't want to break his heart. So
I
I
was
just,
just going to say, you didn't tell him it wasn't, did you?
no, I didn't tell him. I said, there's a man there too. There's a man in the moon. So let it go with that
For now.
for now. But my granddaughter knows.
Yeah.
Let her be the one to tell him.
So we wanted to share with you, we've just created our own private Facebook group, and it's called Oils Essentially 101. And we'd love to invite you to join. You will need to answer 3 simple questions and see what the rules are. And we're happy to let you be with us. So I will put this information in with the recording when it goes out. But if you're on Facebook, And if you just go into the search bar and search for Oils Essentially 101, it'll take you right to our page.
Great.
Yeah, we
And
figured
what
it.
we're planning to do, I mean, we've already started putting some things on, but we will eventually, all of our recordings, we're going to be storing there in units. So if you ever want to go back, we're going to be making some other short recordings on how to do certain things, things that, good tips and that sometimes it's nice to see, if you get an oil and don't know what to do with it. And so we'll go into things like that. So we're going to have a lot of recordings, and we're going to post things that we feel, might be of interest. And we're there for you to ask questions. So if you post questions in the group, now it's private, it's only people who are part of that group can see it. And we're happy to, the three of us will be scanning it all the time, and we'll answer your questions as best we can. Lily, Catherine, anything to add to that?
Yeah, we're going to have different units within that page, some for recipes, some for recordings, some for videos. But if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, we'd love to have them, because this is a community for us to grow and to utilize our knowledge to the best of our ability, because we find strength in numbers. So by all means, feel free to share with us what you think would work as well.
Also, we're going to have, as the 101 aspect of it, which is just, sometimes folks get their oils and it's like, well, what do I do with this, And just simple things with how to have the oil, how to use the oil, to drop the oil into the pomade, and the inhalation and all of that, like just really simple things too. So you'll be able to refer folks to it, if you have folks who are interested in getting oils and you don't feel really confident about telling them or whatever, there'll be an area where there'll be little videos that they can go to, and which is great, because it's so much better to see somebody doing something rather than trying to tell them like how to do it, but
Yeah, we all learn differently.
yeah, so it'll be fun, and it's mostly just community sharing. We'll post different kinds of articles about things and, different classes that we take or anything like that, notes, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So we invite you.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you there.
And then you know how to reach us. So I'm going to stop sharing the slides now so we can see everybody. Woo, hello. So we have some time if anyone wants to ask any questions or bring up it can relate to what we just talked about, or it can be about anything else relating to oils or not. We'll try to answer.
No,
So
huh?
Chandrika, you're still using your oils a lot?
Well, she may be muted.
Chandrika, are you still using
Oh
your
yes, yeah,
oils?
yes. I didn't hear Chandrika. Yeah, that's right. I am always. I just love them. It's amazing. But I got some good ideas for the moon, and that will be fun. There's always. It's nice to get refreshed like this. I do the raindrop therapy, and we have had amazing results for on with that. It's just wonderful. But this is kind of, I love the frankincense also. Just sort of protects me every day, just a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know. I feel so graced to, to have the oils, especially now. I mean, always and especially now, because I feel, like you said, they're real protectors, they're
Mm-hmm.
balancing just to establish some kind of
They're alive. They
Yeah.
are alive.
It's
Mm.
something like
Well,
that you know, that's familiar, that's there, you know, in this time when everything is like, well, where is everything? It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, okay, here's frankincense, and I can relate to the smell, and I remember this. I know what this does. I know how this feels. I know where this takes me, you know. And so
Mhm.
I love being able to rely on my oils like that because I know them, you know. And
Yeah, they're friends.
there's always more to know, though.
Yeah.
More, but yeah, they do inspire and cultivate your intuition. I think, you know, if you let that happen, if you're just open to that, you know,
Mhm.
to come through. They're great allies in that respect.
yeah, I think we can all attest to the fact that our normal has been disrupted, and we've tried to have to figure out our way, whatever that is, and every day is different. And I feel so supported.
Mm.
I remember something you said, Lily, one time. You know, sometimes I'll just look at them and I'll go, "What? Which one? What? What?" And I'll
Mm.
stand there for a few moments, and I'll just think of what I need or what I feel that needs to support me right now, and I'll just grab it. I won't know which one. I'll just grab it, and that's the one that for that time that you know, because I've found myself in difficult situations these last few months. To you know, gosh, do I? Don't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Could I? Couldn't I? And it's like, just calm down. Got this. It's okay. You know, I have my team, if you will. And,
That's a good thing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so it's good. It's all good. We'll get through this. And you know, I've gotten through it before, and this is just different and longer. so,
Yeah.
so I'm using them a lot more. But I use them for everything, medicinally, cooking. I mean, you know, you name it, I use it. It just minimizes my space, you know, and I'm trying to downsize. So this is perfect.
I was cooking today. I've been making videos, and we're at a farm, and we have a lot of volunteers who are out in the field. It's been so hot, so we've gotten into the habit that I come and I make smoothies for everybody first thing in the morning, like ice cold slushy smoothies.
Oh.
And so what I brought with me today was lime essential oil, and I use that to season, to flavor the
Nice.
smoothies.
Yeah, that's
That's
refreshing.
a great idea.
Yeah.
I forget that too. Also, lemon in the cake is probably
Mm.
better than the real lemon because I put 2 whole lemons in my cake last week, and it made the cake a little flatter because it doesn't like the lemon, you know, the sourness. But if I put just a little bit of essential oil, it will taste, the whole cake tastes more, even with 2 drops.
Mm.
That I will try that next.
Yeah, or orange.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm. Yeah.
I had some this morning. I was running out and I had some cold water, and I was like, I need something in this. And I was like, I'm just going to put like 2 drops of peppermint in it. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
Water was really, really cold, you know, and it was just like 2 drops of peppermint. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm in gear, you know. I mean, it just really, really got my attention, you know.
Everybody drinking enough water?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not.
Never.
Well, that's a reminder then.
Yeah.
It's great to see you all, really. I
Too.
haven't seen you in a long
I
time.
know. It's very wonderful to see you, Sandra.
Thank you.
I remember your sweet horse.
Oh, yeah. That was so wonderful. You know, I realized that I miss them so much. All the animals, you know, and it's sort of like a glow with you when you have an animal at home, even if you don't really, you know. And I haven't had them for a while. Oh, I need one. I need some, at least a cat, you know.
Yes.
Hi, Sandra. Are you still down? Are you still down the road from the Duffys?
Yes, yes,
Oh, good. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember me, Mary. Yeah.
yes, Mary. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And
Yeah.
Karen, I haven't seen you in a long time either.
Karen's still muted.
Yeah, she's
Unmute, Karen?
There you go. Now I can unmute. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time, but it's great to see you. Absolutely. No, I muted during the presentation because I have, my dog has some seasonal allergies
uh-oh.
and you don't want to hear him scratch. This is about his time. He's quiet now, but it's just too much rattling with his leash and it's pathetic is what it is. So yeah, but anyhow, he's quiet now, but you don't need to hear all of that. But this was great. I do have one kind of funny question. When you howl at the moon, does the money actually show up?
Falls out of the-
just
We'll have
falls
to
out
try
of the
to
sky.
find out.
I guess
You
I
have
will
to
then.
believe it.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
have to
there you
believe
go.
I have
There you
some
go.
stories I could tell about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fall out of the sky, but you may manifest it in some other way.
Ah, okay.
Remember,
Good.
Vicki,
Okay.
you told me once about a friend of yours that did some kind of ritual with the moon and that the money actually then did come to her.
I don't know if that was Kelly, Debbie. Kelly is an incredible manifester. And I
Yeah.
don't know if
It
she-
is. Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
But it was like the specific amount and everything when you were telling me the story.
I think it was Kelly. She did
Probably.
manifest
Mhm.
things that she needed a certain amount, and she was able to
She needed that
manifest it.
house and she knew how much and when. And I'll tell you, it was almost down to the wire, but it showed up.
Oh,
Well, mine wasn't quite like that. Mine was a little more general, but looking back within a period of time to see like how the universe responded was enough to make me a believer.
Yeah, yeah. There are really miracles all the time. We just don't see
Right.
them.
Right.
There are.
A little story with my horse. Since you mentioned it, when I was 11, I was singing this song, what a soldier sang about his horse. He rode it a long time, and now it got really old and it died. And he buried it near a tree, in the shade of a tree. And he said, and I didn't have to put a plaque there because all the birds in the tree are singing for this horse at his praise. And that was when I was 11. And last summer, I'm sitting on my terrace, and the birds in that one big tree over where the pasture is are singing very, very loudly. And I'm thinking, oh, it's so strange. They're singing so loud. And then all of a sudden the memory came, wow, we
Wow.
buried the horse there.
Wow.
The people, my gray horse was buried there. And I, for how many years, 15 years, never thought of it. And that was last year, I finally heard. So that wish came true.
That's
And
great.
so beautiful. And since then, I have been looking around in my memories and things, so many miracles. It's really fun. You have to try to find something, like you think it's a coincidence, but it's not.
Thank you.
Mm.
I need to go.
Oh, that's great.
Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you next time. It was great seeing you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
Yeah.
good to see everyone. Thank you.
We will.
All
It was
right.
great.
All right. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for doing this. Bye-bye, everybody. It was great.
Now,
Thank
bye,
you.
Bye, Deb. Bye, Karen.
Bye-bye. Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye.
Stay cool.
Bye.
Stay well. Alvonia, do you want to unmute yourself and say hello?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Hello and goodbye.
I thought I said hello. I'm sorry. I had a wonderful time. I have all these notes that I was taking, and a lot to learn.
Well, thank you
And-
for being,
Some oils to order.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So it's been fun.
Okay, we hope to see you on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay. I went to the Facebook page, and
Okay?
there's one called Essential Oils 101.
No.
Oh,
Right. So I stopped. I said, "Oh no, not that one."
Has to be
So-
exactly oils essentially.
Right.
101.
Go find that one.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
have
you.
a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Bye.
honey.
Stay well. Good to see
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Stop video. Okay.
This is
No,
the end. There should be an end.
there's no end.
An end. I will.
Forever.
I'll help you say good night. Good night. I'll remove you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to